Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin,
and this is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. So sorry we missed you last week. A bunch of things going on, and Austin was scrambling to get out of here, and I didn't feel like doing a solo one. So we skipped one. But we've got plenty of good things to talk about now. You're back. Today's your first day back in a week?
10 days.
10 days. Well, you're counting weekend days.
Yeah, I guess
don't
weekend
count
days
weekend
too.
days.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be gone that long either. Things happened, and I was gone a lot longer than I was expecting. But I actually was technically back yesterday.
No, you weren't.
Well, I wasn't in the office, but I've been home since Monday.
Right, I understand that. But your email out of office said you wouldn't be back till today.
I know.
So,
because I was back, but I was like, I'm gonna hit that at 10. 10 is like a magical number,
that's what
supposedly.
Vacation
And
is.
so I actually took the time off, and I haven't done for a while, but I needed some actual time off. So
good.
It was good.
Can you shut that up? My
maybe.
God. The level of professionalism I have to deal with here. Austin forgot to silence his phone.
It has.
Just in the rare off chance that mine goes off. My volume's always all the way down though. So yeah, didn't matter.
I need to respond to this. So we're going to have to edit some of this out real quick.
No, I'll keep talking.
Okay.
All right. So I have in front of us a few things. One are some habanero barbecue snack sticks that I grabbed out of the freezer and let defrost for a little bit. And then because I had a sous vide cooker go, I just put them in at the end after I turned the sous vide cooker off. The reason I did that is because I don't care what anyone says about this. Hot snack sticks are infinitely better than cold snack sticks. You get way more of the flavor, and it just is all around just a better experience eating hot snack sticks than cold snack sticks. My favorite thing to do is as soon as they're out of the smoker, if it's like something like a vertical smoker that doesn't have a shower cycle, even before they go into the ice bath, I'll take a few bites. If they're coming out of the PK, as soon as they come out, they're still warm, take a few bites of them, and they're just delicious. Eat.
Okay. So before I start eating, I did something like kind of on purpose and kind of on accident that I really liked. It had its downside, but I'm going to probably do it again. I made a bunch of summer sausage like 3 weeks ago now. 3 weeks ago now, I think it is. Made it in the small diameter, like inch summer sausage casings. I left it in the fridge, not in any type of vacuum packaging, anything, just left it in the fridge.
So dried out like crazy.
Dried out like crazy. That was amazing. I finally cut all that up yesterday, and I was like, oh no, this probably isn't going to be any good, but it had like more the consistency of a dried salami, dried pepperoni. I don't like the wrinkled look that it gave to it because it looks like a bad product in my opinion, but the texture and consistency was off the charts.
So it's just drying out more. Mm-hmm. That's all it's doing.
It was so much better than like what I normally make for summer sausage.
Oh, well, thanks for bringing some in. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
I forgot.
I, however, did make multiple products. First, eat one of those. Second, I think I brought these over when I meant to bring a knife. I got up before this and grabbed forks, and I'm pretty sure I grabbed this too. It's not going to help us.
And habanero barbecue sticks are actually like warm. Mm-hmm. They're spicier.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Maybe that's why I like them better. All right. And then this is the andouille Cajun that I made for something. I can't remember why I made these, but I made a bunch of them too. So we have some delicious andouille Cajun. I haven't tried these yet, so we're going to be trying them together. All right, right off the bat, if you want almost like a pate-ish texture to your sausage, the right way to do them is cook them in a sous vide and then just grill them at the very, very end, because that's what these were. If you don't like that texture, don't do this. Because it has pate is probably the wrong word.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know if I should, but...
You don't know what pate is?
No.
Like liver pate?
Oh,
yeah.
Like the stuff I got in the can the one
Exactly.
time. Yeah. Okay.
So if you like that texture, then the best way to get that without going insanely overboard in processing difficulty. Just cook them in sous vide for like an hour at 160 and then finish them up on a grill.
They're very good though.
Taste-wise, they're phenomenal. Our andouille Cajun is a really good flavor.
Is there mozzarella? Mm-hmm. Swiss?
No, high temp. Hot pepper, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So the nothing cheese. It adds no heat.
Well, we honestly should change the name to Pepper Jack.
We 100% should.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do that.
We could.
Who's going to tell us no?
No
Your
one.
dad, maybe?
That's a decision. Can't talk. That's a decision we could make. No one's probably going to give us too much of a fit. Brett or Dylan may say something just because it's been hot pepper forever.
Right.
But we probably get away with it without anybody getting too angry.
We're also super close on the name. It's not like we're changing it to, I don't know, not spicy cheese. Even that would actually still be fairly close. So
we probably should go back to our cheese manufacturer and see what they call it, because we call it hot pepper because 6 manufacturers ago, that's what they called it. but to be honest, since we first started carrying high temp cheese 20 years ago, we've changed manufacturers 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at least on our 4th. I don't know if I should say that or shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
Things change. It happens.
Is pricing the main thing there or availability?
Both. We had issues with availability from some in the past. We had issues with, I think, cleanliness from some in the past because it would mold too fast. And mold is a sign of uncleanly, unsanitary packaging conditions. Some availability, some pricing. Before, we used to buy stuff just at like set prices. Well, I didn't know at the time, but cheese is a commodity market. It changes like every day. So now we buy off the commodity market. We have a base price, and then it adjusts based upon whatever other factors. And so our price is constantly going up and down and up and down, but it makes more sense. I think who we're buying from now, I really like because just they're consistent.
Yeah.
We actually can get stuff, and
Ghost pepper's delicious.
pricing. Mm-hmm.
The best ghost pepper cheese. 2 things. One, when I initially bit into that and had that more pate, I did not like it. Now I'm in love with it, as can be seen as the fact that
Wait, did you just eat a whole second one?
Yes. They are delicious.
I must
Really,
have been
really
talking longer than I thought there.
No, I wouldn't stop because that is absolutely delicious. Okay. Since you're talking about cheese, how much time do you spend inside my SharePoint? The web SharePoint.
Oh, little to none.
Okay. There's a spreadsheet in there that I go in every couple of weeks and track cheese costs for like across our vendors or like competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, did you see my email this morning?
No.
One of them no longer sells high temp cheese.
Oh no, I did see that. I take that back. I saw part of it. I don't think I really read it, but I saw the headline. Subject. Whatever.
Yeah, if you go search high temp cheese on there, like you put in cheese and it says, did you mean high temp cheese? You say, yes, click that. It brings you to motor oil.
So I wonder if that's on purpose. Accident? Is it something that is gone, or is it temporary?
Even if you find it, like I could find it from a Google search is the only way I could find it. Like if I went just through the categories in their website, it was not there. But if you Googled that competitor and then high temp cheese, it had a link to it. Click on it, and I sent you a screenshot of it. Just says this is not available. So I'm fairly sure they've just gotten rid of it.
Interesting. Would make sense because high temp cheese does create some logistical issues.
Yep.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Because I sometimes do wonder what some of our competitors do, because we don't have a lot of space for cheese right now. We bring in a 53-foot reefer trailer that sits here for a good portion of, all of busy season, good portion of the year, that stays full of cheese because we don't have enough room, and we're looking at potentially moving or building sometime soon here. And in that process, we're going to put in like a massive freezer, and the cost is, I mean, we're not talking like tens of thousands of dollars. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for a freezer the size that we need to store the amount of cheese that we sell. And we're not that big of a company. That other competitor, they are a lot bigger than we are. And so what are they doing? And I bet they look at it and they don't want to have the capital costs to build freezers for the amount of space that they would need to store cheese. So it's interesting.
Are we talking freezer or cooler?
Freezer.
Currently, they're just in a cooler, aren't they?
Yeah, but freezer's better. It'll last longer. I mean, you basically don't lose shelf life when stuff is in a freezer minus, well, comparatively to.
Well, that's not even true. They go into a freezer. The 1 pounds at least do. Okay, whatever. Neither here nor there. Okay. Next is I'm going up Saturday morning to pick up my quarter of beef from Crable's.
Sweet. So what time are we eating steaks on Saturday?
No, not Saturday. Next week, I'm also buying some Waygu on the company credit card and he's putting aside a couple pork bellies for me. So we're going to do a couple of things next week. We'll do the comparison of Waygu to what I'm getting. And then we'll also do a couple of different things with bellies. Depending on how many he has, I might buy one specifically for bacon. There's a bunch of other stuff I've been wanting to do with bellies for a while. So we'll get to that next week also. Zach won't be on the podcast. He is working like around the clock right now. He's down a couple of people. So I was like, don't worry about it. We'll push that to sometime later.
We could do a live interview while he's
I'm sure he would love that. Floor. Yeah. Hey, stop what you're doing. Talk to us. I know this is your business and your livelihood, but no, we're interested. We want to know. So at some point we will have Zach from Crable's on the podcast to discuss some differences of Wagyu and regular beef, and then also just what it's like running a large processing plant. They would be considered medium, right?
They're still going to be considered small.
Small?
Probably.
Okay.
Small, medium.
Yep.
Yeah, small.
You have to have 500 employees to be considered.
I mean, yeah, technically the government's definition of a small business is less than 500 employees, which is crazy. Because if you have 450, you're not a small business.
No.
I'm sorry. That's
definitely not. How many do you think Vornado has?
I have no
For those who don't know, Vornado's a fan company, and they do other things as well, but they're in the Wichita area.
Is that like their only facility?
Mm-hmm.
I always just figured that they had multiple, and that was one of, but I don't know.
Yeah, no idea. So,
man, if I was a better listener, my fiance used to work there. I don't know any of these. You know what I mean?
I was wondering where the "if I was a better listener" comment came from. All right. A couple other things. We also just got a new oversized spatula in for Mr. Barbecue.
Hold that up for the thumbnail, please. That looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I love the look of this thing. I already have enough oversized spatulas that I don't need another one, but all my oversized spatulas are oversized in length, and this is oversized in width. I feel like I would enjoy this one more. Plus, just a better smack.
I must be grilling wrong or something, because I don't use spatulas. I used a spatula this weekend, actually, or for the 4th. I basically just had family over to the house, and I cooked 20 burgers. And so that many burgers, I got a spatula. I'm flipping burgers. But if I'm just cooking a few burgers or anything else, I don't use a spatula. Why do you need a spatula?
What do you use, your tongs? Your hand?
Fingers? Or a thermometer. I mean, half the time, anything I'm doing, I just walk out with a thermometer. I'm cooking steaks, I'm cooking sausage, I'm cooking burgers. I mean, you're going to be probing it. And then when you're like, I need to flip, it's going to stay on there. You just kind of flip it over with the thermometer.
I think I can speak for all of our listeners right now where we think less of you.
Should I not?
We now think less of you for using a thermometer to flip over a steak or a burger.
I do that.
That's even wrong.
Well, okay. If you're doing what Patrick's doing as far as cooking, you're on the wrong side of this.
I don't want to dirty another utensil though. You really don't use your thermometer to flip steaks?
No, because I have my.
I feel like I have footage of him doing it, so we'll find that.
Sure, that's fair. If there's nothing there, but when I'm cooking a steak at home, I have my.
Yeah, but your
there.
kitchen's right by your, like, I've seen your setup, you know what I mean? You got your patio, and it's like, oh, I need something, boom, you're 8 steps away. What's Austin's setup? Maybe he doesn't have the luxury of time.
No, he's even less, I bet. I saw him smile.
No, it's about similar to yours.
Oh, well, then no excuse. It's like,
Have some respect for your food. Have some respect for yourself.
So
In fact,
would you use this
need
for
to
steak?
I will take that out of inventory so you can have it.
Would you use this for steak? I mean, it's steak size.
Yeah. You're fine to use that for steak.
I just stabbed your PC.
I don't use that one, obviously. But yeah.
So when is appropriate to use a spatula versus tongs?
Tongs are better for like sausages, things that are a little bit more odd to grip. I will use a spatula for sausages if that's all I have.
You'd use a spatula for sausage over a thermometer.
Yeah, thermometer's always going to be the last option. I'm not saying it's not an option. It's always going to be last option, though.
Okay. I'm glad we had this intervention, and I'm going to correct my actions.
That's great. Okay. What do you think SPAM stands for?
Super protein and muscle. I don't know.
Absolutely not. Patrick, do you have any guess on what SPAM actually stands
I
for?
feel like I've heard it, and once you start, I might interrupt, but no. I scuba, though, I know that, but not space.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Yeah. So SPAM is some different word that I've never even heard of, but it basically is spiced ham. It's a conjoined, like 2 words, but it does actually have a meaning. There was a ton of things going on social media about this where people were taking guesses, and it was like salty pork, almost meat was a funny one. There were a bunch of good ones, but anyways, I am shocked that it has an actual planned out name.
It's not spiced ham.
No, that's what it is.
Oh, that is what it is. Okay.
Spam.
I thought you were building up to something.
Me too. I was like,
We've already been there.
I was like,
That's why I said it was
what's the drum
spiced
roll?
ham.
No, the way that you told that was like backwards.
Yeah, you had the punchline
It sounds
first.
like sounds like you said most people assume it's spiced ham, but it really means blank.
So you're telling me draw things out more.
Yeah.
I already talked too much.
No. I'm saying yeah. Draw it out more, and then just that beginning add as the suffix.
So just like with the psychrometer video, you have to grab the part that I should have said and move it.
Yeah,
Because it just makes no sense otherwise. All right. Bratfest is fast approaching. We have just over a month to it. It's August 19th. You're listening to this on July 7th. So get your tickets now. They're $15 now. They'll be $15 at the door.
Yep.
So that we are just doing one price on them this year. It caused too much confusion last year. We're going to have a bunch of our commercial customers coming down, selling their product. Giving
out samples
And
and,
giving out
selling
samples.
product. Yeah.
So if you wanted to leave with some brats this year, much easier to do.
Yeah. So everyone complains that we're always everything but the meat, but this is the one time of year you can come to Walton's and you can leave with a full belly full of meat and leave with extra food for your freezer.
I do that all the time.
You don't count.
Do we have a vendor list yet for that?
Yeah.
Is there anyone we don't care to list off now, or just kind of wait and see? Or
Austin can look that up.
well, it's hard to because I know this before. There's always last minute a cancellation or two depending on schedule. But
Austin got it.
So BHA is going to be here with a booth. They've got some sort of arcade shooting game, I think.
Okay.
Sounds really cool. We had to put them in a particular spot for their setup. They're really excited about it. So I'm excited. Not only that, but just BHA. Everything they do is always fun. Pass It On will be here. I assume they're doing a gun raffle. They probably are.
Who cares?
Who cares?
I can't answer.
You can't?
You told me after last year that I'm not allowed to enter.
I said you probably shouldn't, but I don't know. If it's going to make you that upset?
No, it's going to reduce their...
I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you, go ahead and enter, and I'm going to tell Brittany to throw away the tickets that you put in there. DU is going to be here. PF, I guess, so DU, Ducks Unlimited, I assume everybody knows, but PF, Pheasants Forever, National Wild Turkey Federation. We're going to have Diamond Archery here with their 3D target shooting range. Fishing's Future Backyard Bass Game. They're going to be here. I think that's with the KDWP. I think that's who it was.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Okay. Funky Monkey Shaved Ice. That was a big hit, especially with the kids last year. They were excited. They're coming back this year. Shaken and Stirred. They've done every event with us for the past 5-6 years. I don't know, however long we've been doing these events. So we got our drinks and alcohol covered there. Peabody Sausage is going to be here. Walnut Valley is going to be here. Crable's is going to be here. I know we have more, at least, that are going to be bringing sausage. I don't know how many more of the commercial processors we have, but we should have more. I just don't have the full list there. We're going to have 2 different fire trucks here because I think I told this on the podcast, but maybe I didn't. I'll tell it again anyways. Yeah. We had County signed up to be here, and then Wichita Fire came through for an inspection, I don't know, a month ago here. And they were upset that we had a fire truck here and it was from County. They're like, what are you doing with County? We're like, we didn't know. Honestly, Josh and I didn't know there was a difference.
Seems like the same to me.
You're the fire department. But there's Wichita PD or FD and there's County FD. So we're like, bring a truck out. So they're going to bring a truck out. Sedgwick County EMS will be here. KDWP is going to be here. They're also bringing a truck with an airboat. I don't know if we're going to get to drive it around or not, but I'm really hoping we do. I'm assuming that they can go on land too, like a hovercraft, or is it just a water thing? I might have a whole different interpretation of what an airboat is.
Yeah,
but
no, an airboat.
I'm thinking it's a hovercraft.
No, I don't.
Have you seen The Water Boy?
Yeah, it's the huge fan on the back.
It's a fan boat. Yeah.
So it's only for water.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to flood
boat.
something.
Hence the word boat.
Now, if that was a thing, we would just use those, Austin, instead of cars. We wouldn't have to.
Hovercrafts are awesome.
Why are hovercrafts not like a everyday thing?
I know this because when I was a kid, I had a toy Arcia hovercraft.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with it.
Oh, for sure.
It takes a ridiculous amount of moving air to keep that bottom cushion up enough because you can't just push air down into it, inflate it, and have it, that be enough. It has to have holes in that, so it has to be inflated plus pushing enough air down to keep the friction.
The amount of weight though would be like most of those toys that I had were like that odd composite like foam or something. You're just like, this isn't even plastic because it couldn't even hold up the plastic. Yep. So could you imagine a person, people? No.
Yeah, so that's why.
I'm disappointed.
They do have some hovercrafts that like go over like bays and inlets and stuff. Like, so it's a ferry and they'll use
or they use water and they lie to you and it's like, hey, look, it's a jetpack.
It's a hovercraft.
Like, bogus. It's a weirdo attached to a hose. It goes about
15 feet on land.
But there was that, like you're saying, that didn't some guy have like an actual jet hover thing like near like a Navy ship and they were like demonstrating it? I'll have to send you the video. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, you're talking about a jetpack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that was the Navy. It's like a special forces way of boarding.
Man, if they're showing us that, what do they have access to? Oh, man.
We'll talk about this at the end, but we need to, for our non-meat story, we got to talk about senators confirming that we have non-human spacecraft or non-human craft.
Oh, sweet.
We'll talk about it. I have a theory.
Can I real quick, I want to work in, I have a proclivity for wrestling, but if we can get a mustard belt somehow worked into the Bratfest just regime, we need to spitball the idea obviously, but what would that look like if there was a mustard king of Bratfest? How do we pick one? Is it a person? Do you understand
what he means by mustard?
I assume he's referencing like the mustard belt from July 4th.
Yes,
that type of
100%.
thing.
Did you
Joey Chestnut?
Oh, okay.
The first year we did Bratfest, I thought about like, should we do a brat eating contest? The problem, the problem is just how do you I don't know. How do you do it? Logistics. Who do you let in? Right. And then we need a lot of brats. Nope. We're already making a lot, but that's a lot more.
Right.
Because do we let 30 people in? And if 30 people can eat 6 pounds of brats a piece, we're making another 200 pounds of brats. We're already making 1,000 pounds of brats. So
there's got to be some safety issue with any kind of food eating contest, right? Some girl died last year at a sorority house during a hot dog eating contest.
From just hot dogs?
Yeah. Well, she choked.
Oh. You could do that. You could do that anytime.
I would think it's
Can't somebody give her the Heimlich?
I'm just saying, when you put on an event, we're probably going to have a paramedic nearby. Or
For
like
sure.
That, so.
Yeah.
nobody have a pocket knife and a pen. Have you seen the whole deal? You just cut this.
Well, you definitely don't go this way. You go this way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Don't let me do this.
I like every time there's like a small child. It's like, oh my God, what happened? It's like, he can't breathe. It's just like, oh God, poke a hole in his lung with the ballpoint pen. How many times in a show is that going to happen?
Well, it's not a lung.
Well, wherever the hell he's got. No. I've seen those. I've seen one where they poke him in the side, though.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's like for a deflated lung.
Oh, see,
you're trying to relieve the pressure.
Yeah.
I guess.
So you can feel it in your trachea.
All of us doctors,
trachea,
by the way. Just
like all that ribbing, find in between those, make a...
No. You can't give medical advice.
Horizontal slice is definitely not medical advice. And then take some sort of ballpoint pen type thing and put it in there so it gets around the obstruction. I don't know.
He gives a...
Definitely don't listen to Austin, though. He goes, you slice their throat, and he ran all the way from his jaw down to his breast, like all the way.
Yeah, listen to me least, secondly, and then John, but still bottom of the barrel.
Okay, so Bratfest, we're not.
But no, what I was saying,
I
wasn't saying an eating contest though. But like, if you were to give away like to someone that shows up or something, like they get a special prize, like they not eat the most, but just like they're having the best time or something.
We could make up like a insanely hot brat, like Inferno with ghost pepper cheese, and put in like some extra.
It would have to be something really bad to make. You're saying like whoever can eat this,
fill it with Talkies, or not Talkies, but the spicy chip, whatever, one chip challenge things.
Oh man,
make it so it is hot.
They get
and then just make stickers for people or something.
They don't get a belt. You just get a sticker.
I was saying t-shirt. He goes stickers. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to make like 50 pounds of it and cut it into pieces so people can try it. So if they try it, they get a sticker. I ate the hot brat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm sure Pat's not too busy right now. Hey, make a graphic.
Definitely. But I mean, it's really easy to order stickers. You just do it through Sticker Mule. It's not that hard
to make a good-looking sticker, though.
That's fair, but it didn't sound that interested in the way you would give him a sticker.
Give him a sticker. Now here, I injured myself for this bra. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll do that. I really don't want to get people like Payne and Walton's in their mind at the same time.
Well, you shouldn't have been there last year then.
Oh, that's actually fair.
So other things at Bratfest, we're going to have some semi-trucks there, trying to have things for like kids to have fun with. So some stuff they can climb around and play with. From Bruckner Trucking. We are going to, we're still trying to get like some other like police or highway patrol something. We had the MRAP vehicle from Sedgwick County out last year, and they can't take it out due to some policy changes. Very disappointing. So we're trying to find something that's tactical in nature to have out here. We'll also have a archery range, BB gun range, fishing range. I don't know what else you call it. A fishing thingy. Some
backyard
sort of game.
Fishing thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Axe throwing.
Cool.
Looking back through the list on this side, we have it on. We have two lists. Dunk tank, Augusta Rental will be here because they provide the dunk tank, porta potties, bunch of tables, chairs, all kinds of stuff. Hoping because I saw that Augusta Rental has like excavators.
Oh, you want to bring a dinger for your son?
They have one that they can bring out, and that
or a digger. What did I say? A dinger?
A dinger?
Hitting dingers, home runs.
But that would be cool because we're trying to just kind of like the semi trucks, big things that look fun to kids,
right? So
that while parents are running around talking with people, eating brats, little kids can go play and have some fun too.
Cool.
So that's all I got.
Awesome. Bunch of things happened while you were away.
Just so everyone's aware, John and I, this is the first time we've talked since I've been back. So this is a surprise to me. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Dump anything on you, but I'm fairly sure we handled them all in the way you would wanted us to handle them.
Okay.
Fairly sure. I tagged you in everything, like all the tickets I responded to. I'm like, I think this is what Austin wants. If not, I'm tagging him so you can look at it. But I don't think there was only one thing that I even bothered emailing you about, and that was something I was excited about.
I felt kind of bad because I wasn't responding.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't email you. I was texting you.
You were very excited.
Yep. I eventually was like, okay, no more. I won't text you anymore on this. How was your 4th?
Good.
What'd you do?
Just kind of dinked around in the morning, went for a walk, went and bought fireworks, hung out, chilled, then had family over, cooked burgers, and just shot off nothing crazy, but a few things. Although we had some eventful things shooting off. We had this, I don't know where they came from, just leftover fireworks from my house from somebody. No idea. People ask me, like, where'd you get those? It's always a good idea to light off fireworks. You have no idea where they came from. We had one rocket. This rocket went like 300 feet in the air.
Nice.
It was insane. And the bottom part of it was just plastic, and we saw it fall. And it like I don't know where it landed exactly, but it looked like it landed on the neighbor's house.
Oh,
so I was like, ah. But then we had these things that looked like bottle rockets, but they weren't bottle rockets. But I don't know. They were really cool. Again, I don't know what they were, where they were from. They were just left over at my house from somebody sometime. Shot those things off and like start squealing as they're shooting and blow up 100 feet in the air. It was real cool.
Well, that's what bottle rockets do.
They
make that squeal noise.
These were
like
bigger.
Big, okay.
These were bigger than bottle rockets.
So large bottle rockets then.
Maybe.
I started drinking at 9:30 in the morning.
I saw your post on Meatgistics and I'm like, oh, he's getting into this early.
Not only did I start drinking beer at 9:30 in the morning, I started drinking whiskey at 9:30 in the morning as well. I woke up, I ran like 4 miles, worked out, and I don't remember what was happening, but I had to go into the basement for something. That's where my bar, and I was like, yep. I'm like, here we go. So I was posting about it for a while on Meatgistics, but then I was like, probably need to put the phone down. Like I
couldn't read the screen anymore.
No, I could read the screen fine. I could feel some rants coming on. I was like, let's just keep out of this. So, yeah. Then that weather we got the night of July 4th.
Goodness.
It went right from, as I'm trying to sleep, fireworks going off, to hail, to insane lightning. I mean, it was intense here in Wichita.
It was cool, like shooting fireworks off. Like you could see like storms out in the distance and the lightning. At first, people were like, "Are those fireworks out there?" I'm like, "No, that's a storm." It was really cool. But I have a question. I don't know if you're gonna know the answer to it, but we'll see if somebody can respond on Meatgistics and tell me if I'm crazy. I left a bucket outside after the 4th. Normally have a bucket there to either put stuff in, do whatever. Just you need a bucket at the 4th. So come out the next day. The bucket is like 8 inches full of water.
Right. So did we get 8 inches?
I'm saying we got 8 inches of rain.
I don't know how they do it. I've seen the what is it called? It's not a cylinder. There's a term for it with the gauges on it.
Yeah.
I've seen those at local airports when I was a kid. I don't know if width would mess with that at all because you're collecting like a more area. They might have like this is the correct diameter of the tube because otherwise if you're collecting more.
But it's not like it's just a straight cylinder.
I understand that.
But it doesn't have slanted edges, so it doesn't matter how big it is, right? It's still whatever. It's the opening to the bottom. That's what you're going to collect, and however many inches, that's how it does. So if you had a pond, and it was a perfectly circular pond, and it was empty, and after it rained, there was 8 inches of water in it. Did it rain 8 inches? Did you get 8
inches of rain? I mean,
assuming that no runoff went into the pond, which a bucket can have no runoff go into it because it's above ground.
From like a logic standpoint, yeah, it sounds like we got 8 inches of rain, but that sounds insane. So
it rained so much, I know it did. So long and so hard.
So maybe that is.
I don't know. So if anyone actually knows how that works, let us know. Yeah. Post on Meatgistics because I'm just curious. My dad and my wife both told me that I was stupid, basically. They didn't use those words, but that's what it felt like.
Right.
So
Okay. All right. Moving on to Meat Matters, unless you have anything else.
Nope.
Okay. First one, more Iowa farmers now selling meat directly to consumers. So around 3,000 Iowa farmers are now selling meat directly to consumers, up 50% from the number doing that in 2015. Amana Farm Beef was one of the operations that made the shift during the pandemic and its concurrent supply chain problems. Some of these folks were being put on a waiting list, not just for months, but years, to be able to get a slot to get an animal in and get it processed, said John McGrath, general manager of Amana Farms. McGrath said that another reason for shifting the Amana Farm business model was customers wanting more transparency about the food they eat. There's been more of a movement for folks desiring to know the people that are raising their food and want to know more about it. This makes me so happy to see more stories like this. I think farmers selling directly to end users, better for your local economy, better for animal welfare. You're probably going to get a better finished product out of it. But also, just, I like the idea of it. Like, I grew up in a not so small town, but I think I would have been very, very happy in a small town. Like, just a tight-knit group of people, as opposed to the suburbs where, like...
What's small to you? Be like, are we talking like a town of 800 people or like 50,000 people?
Oh, I mean, definitely not
like
50,000 people.
Because there's probably close to 1 million people in like the whole Wichita metro. So...
Yeah, I don't consider Wichita small.
Yeah, well, I know.
Okay.
But so where do you get to small? Is like small like 300,000 people or 250, 800
in
people?
a town?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like probably a town of like 5,000 or something.
Okay.
So not tiny.
Okay.
Like, especially when I was I don't know how to say, dating age. I'd want there to be a wide variety of gene pools to be able to. But yeah, no, I love that. I think it's awesome. So another one, this one's from Brett. It says family-owned Panhandle Meat, cutting out the middlemen. So the exact same thing, basically. Donnie Tranmel, one of the owner-operators, said his goal is to make high-quality beef available to every customer. So our dry aging process is just like it used to be, with the whole half carcass in there, which then all the enzymes and all the bacteria can break it down in 21 days. And it just improves two things, the flavor and the tenderness. So I don't know how that would be different from a larger commercial operations dry aging. Like, isn't 21 days pretty much
pretty standard?
Yeah, what they do. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So not sure, but maybe it not having to be transported and get right into the drying chamber, or how a drying room allows for extra tenderness and flavor. Don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. But again, same thing with something like Panhandle Meat. You are dealing directly with the family. You're not going to Dillon's or some huge faceless corporation who may have totally different standards than how you want your beef handled. So,
unless are they doing that with non-beef? Because they talk about doing hogs too.
A lot.
Are they doing it with hogs?
I don't think you dry age hogs.
Yeah, hogs you can do different things on, because some like bigger places will do like pre-rigger pork. And where,
yeah, we have I don't know if he's still a customer. We had a big customer up in Kansas City who everything they did was pre-rigger.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes, like with pork, yeah, you don't want to wait. Depends, but beef, I feel like that's pretty standard. You want to wait for like something like 21 days. So,
in direct comparison, a dry-aged pork steak has a surprisingly intense flavor. There are no rancid or musty flavors, but only exciting, nutty, and intensive aromas that are very pleasant. That sounds like written from somebody like me who can't keep their opinion out of things. It's just like, no, it's exciting. It's better. So take that for whatever it's worth. All right. Fraudulent meat labeling hurts our economy and our climate. This is from the Daily Montanan. Currently, corporations can legally slap a product of the USA label on imported beef that was born, raised, and slaughtered outside the U.S. if it's repackaged on American soil. How is this blatant falsehood legal? It's because 4 multinational corporations dominate 85% of the beef industry, and they use money, power, and corrupt tactics to manipulate our laws. Meatpacking executives who make more money each day than many of us make in a year prop up this fraudulent system because they know consumers want American-raised beef. Families trust our food safety laws and want to support local ranchers. Many consumers avoid food that has traveled across the globe because of the carbon footprint involved and because food loses nutrition when stored for months and shipped long distances.
Is that accurate?
We've been through this before. There's a reason why there was such a push for flash frozen vegetables for a long time, because freezing, like regular freezing of vegetables, fruit, things like that, does lower its nutritional content, but like flash freezing, for whatever that's worth, apparently doesn't as much. So yes, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables are going to have a higher nutritional content than frozen fruit or vegetables.
Are we talking though like a 30% difference or like a 0.3% difference?
No, it was significant.
Okay.
It was significant. I can try and go back, but it was a couple of years ago when we talked about that. But yeah, basically the longer it takes for something to freeze, the more nutritional content you're going to lose from it.
Interesting.
But I think this is going to come to a head shortly. There's a lot going on about the packaging and labeling laws in the meat industry. I could see in the next year and a half, there being a major shift on this.
Mm-hmm.
So that, my opinion, probably a good thing. Basically what they're talking about here, for anyone who didn't catch that, I can buy a beef from Brazil. I can have them slaughter it. I can have them cut it up all into primals, subprimals, whatever I want, and then have it shipped here. As long as I take it out of the package that they sent it to me in and put it in my own packaging, I can then put product of the USA on it. So that product of the USA on your meat, unfortunately, means nothing. Hence why you need to know where you're getting your meat from. So a local meat processor, even better, well, a local meat processor, a local farmer, something like that is the best, your best option if you're caring about where your beef comes from.
How are they getting around that because of the cool requirements, country of origin labeling requirements? They still have to be putting on there somewhere that it was the origin.
Sure, probably on the original
else.
packaging, but then that customer has repackaged it. So
that's how they get around it.
That's how I imagine it would get around it. It's also probably what they said. You know, the big four have so much money that there are probably all sorts of crazy little loopholes in these laws. 2 things that we should do, and I would just touch on this very briefly. Page limits for all laws and sundown clauses for all laws. Like you have 10 pages to put this in. This will be for 8 years. And then we'll relook at it.
Page limits would be awesome. I hate when you hear stuff like a new law. It doesn't matter what it is coming out. And
these omnibus that are 10,000 pages.
Yeah, 1,000 pages for this, 1,000 pages for that. It's like that's unrealistic.
It should be a felony to vote on anything you haven't read in Congress.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite of the big four? Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, or Anthrax? I don't think Anthrax.
Do we actually mean like who do I have the most positive opinion, or do you think, or is it like who do I
list them and then we can rank them?
I mean, for me, it would be either Tyson.
But aren't they like, as far as big four, aren't they like over? Is Tyson like over 50%, and then the other like
no Cargill. Oh, Cargill is actually the largest corporation in America.
No,
largest
private corporation.
Sorry, largest private corporation in America.
So you have Tyson, Cargill.
Tyson.
Who are the other two?
Cargill. I always want to say JPL. JBS, not Jet Propulsion, and National Beef. Is it National or is it
National Beef?
National Beef. So those are the 4.
Okay.
Tyson is the one I probably have the highest opinion of.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if that's valid or not. Right? That's just marketing. So
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I see one documentary and I'm just like, well, that's my Bible, and I have to pull from that. So it's like,
sure.
So the things I watch have negative opinions of Tyson, so it's hard to.
Fair.
But as far as like in the grand scheme of things, it's like here's Titans football down a list of 100, then it's like, chicken. So my interest level isn't there. So it's hard to be like super invested in it.
Sure.
But
I
at
get
the
it.
same time, it's just like, you got to call it out when you see it. But it's hard to even get all the information, like you said, besides
Impossible.
Unless you're like a part of these meeting place websites or editorials. It's
Even
just
with
like,
that.
Yeah, even with that, you got to search and,
Yeah, to really know everything about anything, you have to spend an inordinate amount of time. And then, at least for me, the way my brain works, I stopped paying attention to something as much as I was for a month. And like 80% of what I knew about it is gone.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like, well, it's gone dormant at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't even think about it until it's that particular point is brought back up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could be having a conversation about something and I won't even touch that 80% until you say something. I'll go, oh wait, no, there it is. Let's load that into the RAM.
They made eye contact with the dog and he's like, oh Jesus, I didn't want you to come over there. Oh, okay, here he is. Hey buddy. What's up?
You forgot to change out your game cartridge. You didn't blow in it when you put it in.
There
so
you go.
Don't remember it.
Yep. Okay. Wary of Wagyu. How about Hanwoo? Korean beef is an emerging luxury meat, less fatty, more chewy, and beefier than its Japanese counterpart. Now in Korea, I'm assuming it means South Korea, but it does not say. But I'm assuming it means South Korea. There's this saying, be aware of the man who buys you beef. This is because it's often seen as having strings attached to it. Like if we were to go out to dinner and I bought beef for us, it would be like an indication.
You owe me one now. Or something.
Exactly. So they say pork is like a strings, no strings attached. Like if we're going out to dinner and I just want to buy my buddy dinner, I'd get a pork dish. Now there's a reason for that. A sirloin is $110 per kilogram over there. So a kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So it's $50 a pound for sirloin. So to compare, that's 5 times as expensive as what we're at right now. Yeah. So it's like $10.73 a pound for USDA choice boneless sirloin. Still seems expensive to me. But anyways, why is Hanwoo so expensive? First, it's exported in extremely limited quantities. 99% of all the Hanwoo beef stays in South Korea. Of what is exported, it's like almost 99%. All of that goes to Hong Kong. That's where they have an actual taste for it. Now, taste-wise, they say it's not as beefy and lean as U.S. cattle, but not as fatty as Wagyu. What percentage of fat do you think Wagyu is?
Oh,
it's high, isn't it?
I don't know. It's not like there's
just a general.
It's just there's so much intramuscular fat,
right?
But it's not like it's massive chunks in there. I don't know, 35%
is fat.
Yeah,
Patrick, do you have a guess?
No, I'm Googling it. So I'm
okay. 70% fat.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They trim it too. So the looks you might look at, Austin, it's already probably been outside trimmed and stuff. Like I just saw a video earlier today, someone trimming Wagyu stuff. So,
but even look at the steaks of it. Definitely, it is mostly fat in there. So it is 70% fat.
70 though,
which is crazy.
Yeah, like
makes me want to eat it more. They said it's more tender than American beef, but because for some reason they're saying beef fat doesn't have flavor. They're saying it has more flavor than Wagyu. But the diet is really why it's so expensive. So a premium cut of this will be fed only fermented barley stems, which is what gives it its beefy flavor. So those two things, exclusivity and diet, make it super expensive.
It seems like, you know how like certain seasonings will be popular. So it seems like Wagyu is kind of hitting.
You think it's...
Well, people think they're eating real Wagyu. Like my brother, he goes, yeah, they said Wagyu burgers. And I go, well, burgers melt out X% of their protein, like fat anyway.
Right.
I go, what are you doing by thinking it's even in a burger and spending $5-6 more? So I feel like it's more of a hot button, like, descriptive word to put on your product than it is like. So I'm curious. I feel like we've talked about this before in the past. Like, what does it mean to be Wagyu? Is there certain standards and regulations? Who's controlling that kind of hot button word? So
this also goes like, I'd say it's related to like, are there other additives in it too? Does it make it a Wagyu burger just to have like 5% in there, or does it have to be 100%?
Yeah. Don't know. I was wondering if we think like this article to me, I first clicked on it because I was thinking, my God, how decadent we've become that people are looking for something more exclusive and expensive than Wagyu at this point. Like, oh no, that's not exotic enough. Have you ever seen a old Marlon Brando movie called The Freshman? No. Is that Patrick?
I'm not familiar.
So it's Marlon Brando and what's his name? He married Sarah Jessica Parker. It's Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Matthew Broderick.
And the whole thing is Marlon Brando's character has set up this like moving restaurant that sells only exotic animals, like the meat from like tiger or whatever, like something that's about to go extinct. And I was like, that's stupid. People wouldn't actually do that. I'm like, oh no, yeah, people definitely would do that.
Dude, this is the podcast. Just not that you did it, but poorly explained, just obscure movies no one's heard of. Like, no. It's actually who's it got? Hold on, and then you kind of do that round.
Figure it out.
It's got that guy that she's in that.
All right, Brazil's beef and pork exports in June represented $980 million. Beef and pork in June.
Wow,
that's insane. It was a pretty interesting story. Not what I initially clicked on it for, but it says Brazil's export of beef and pork have retaken volumes from before the pandemic, as reported by Canal Rural. For example, foreign sales of fresh, frozen, or refrigerated beef generated US $785 million in 16 working days in June, with a daily average of 49 million. The total amount exported by the country reached 154,625 tons. The average price of a ton being $5,800 or $80. Now, what was kind of cool in this is it talked about how Brazil right now is extremely cash rich, and they're getting prepared to like reinvest a ton of their capital back into their own industries. So could be really interesting to see what happens in Brazil in the next couple of years, not just with this industry, but with all industries. Real quick, misbranding and undeclared allergens, reason for recall of beef wieners. It's Alexander Horning, St. Clair Shores, Michigan establishment recalled 3,204 pounds of fully cooked beef wiener products due to misbranding. Basically, they used a binder that had milk in it and messed up the packaging. So it's all coming back, all 3,000 pounds. That's got to sting.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's a very annoying time. We won't go into this too deep because I have a meeting with Google right after this, but Asian longhorn tick continues to spread in Virginia, causing cattle worries. There's already been like 7 deaths of it or from it. Have you ever heard of blue tongue?
No.
I'd never heard of blue tongue either, but it turns out it is actually like a major problem in cattle. So there's BLV and BTV. They're 2 kind of different versions of the same thing. That's probably not well explained, but bovine leukemia virus. Leukemia can be a virus?
That
right?
sounds weird.
Doesn't that sound weird?
Yeah.
Sounds concerning. It's usually passed from animal to animal through blood when performing regular farm tasks like tattooing ears, dehorning, and other practices. Yikes.
Fun.
Not really. Okay, cultivated meat makes its way into restaurants. First, this article, the title needs to be taken down because it's not in any restaurants in the Denver area, which is where this is. It's just talking about that. Then kind of on the same line as that, talking about CRISPR gene editing that can make beef so much cheaper. It says that they've found a way to make their beef 1,000 times cheaper. But when we read on the article, we find that this company, Sci-Fi Meats, mixes real beef cells with plant-based ingredients. So it's not beef. It's just more meat alternative stuff.
Wait,
so of course it's going to be 1,000 times cheaper because it's plants.
Yeah, if you're not.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're going to get into labeling issues again because
I've emailed.
Are you buying ground beef then,
Nope.
or are you buying?
Are you buying beef at all?
A beef-like product.
Yep. I've emailed the author of this, telling them they need to either change the title of it or make that more clear from the beginning. Because if you didn't read all the way down, you'd read, oh my God, the Sci-Fi Foods place has a way to make culture-grown beef 1,000 times cheaper. But no, it's not. So
That sucks.
all right. You had something you wanted to...
Last story.
All right.
There's been 6 shark attacks
Oh, yeah.
in recent history in New York, and they're using drones now.
So we were talking about this Wednesday? Yeah, yesterday. There were 4 attacks in New York over July 4th, 2 each on 2 beaches. There must have been 2 other ones. In one of them, it's obviously all theory, but they think it was the same shark that bit 2 people because it was in such rapid succession. It was like one guy got attacked, made it to the beach, and the other guy was already coming out of the water from getting attacked. They were all small, little, it wasn't like a great white got a hold of anybody. Still, yeah, not good. Would not want that to happen. My family's getting ready to go down to North Carolina where they go for every year. And I've sent them many articles. I'm like, hey, just don't go in the water or call me for no reason during that time other than somebody got attacked by a shark. Because if I see any of your names on my phone, I'm instantly going to assume the worst.
Yeah.
Terrible. Frightening. Okay. Anything else?
That's all I got.
That's it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.